For as long as I can remember, I've wanted to live on the European continent, and if I'm being completely honest, specifically in Italy. But not just visit, like really live. As one of my very wise cousins said, there are so many more layers when you live in a place, so many more opportunities for things to go wrong, and therefore really learn about yourself and grow. It's not always postcard perfect when you live abroad. And of course, she is absolutely right, since I experienced burnout through my time in Portugal, as crazy as that sounds, along with some other daily challenges. So today I've put together some of my favorite memories, things that we did and that we experienced about our time in Portugal, specifically the southern coast known as the Algarve. After waiting out the pandemic for as long as we felt safe, we decided to try working remotely. So why Portugal and not Italy? A few reasons. At the time, it had the lowest case counts in all of Europe. The weather over the winter is a really nice high average, and since it was Apollo's first time traveling on a plane, we wanted to choose the shortest distance so he could be as comfortable as possible. We'd also already been to Portugal and loved the warmth and generosity of its people, the affordable and amazing food, really great accommodations, and gorgeous vistas. We ended up choosing an Airbnb in a community called Vila Moura in a small fishing village called Quarteira. The small fishing village is chill, it's so beautifully rustic, the people are just so cool and joyful. It has great local markets as well as cafes with some of the best pastries and bolos I've ever eaten. Like, I'm pretty sure I had a bolo of a different sort, maybe a couple times a week. It was so good. We were able to eat so well at home because of the delicious local produce, the fish markets, and the market visits were some of my favorite moments. But really, the magic of Quarteira are the beaches. Oh my gosh, these are some of the most expansive and just beautiful beach vistas I've seen ever, and they were right in our backyard. These beaches are shallow, they're kept really clean, and there's so much space, although I've heard many times that the beaches just get jam-packed in the summer. But for us, we had so much space all to ourselves. In Quarteira, there is this beautiful lungomare. I don't know what to call this in English, kind of like a big boardwalk. Anyway, I made sure this was a regular trip on my running route since I was working so much, but my morning run was one of the few times that I could visit the beach, even if it was briefly. It was something I did several times a week, and that was just such a wonderful experience. So where to begin? There is so much to see in the Algarve. The raw, natural beauty that is mostly untouched is one of my absolute favorite things about Portugal. Let's start with Lagos, which is arguably my favorite city in the Algarve. I don't have that much footage because I was having fun, just feeling the buzz of people and enjoying the beautiful architecture, the good coffee, and the cool shops. There were some really great secondhand shops here. I will link to that specific video just above. But the beaches and cliffside villas in Lagos as well are some of the most interesting and stunning I have ever seen. My photos and video don't do it justice. I just think you have to visit this place in person. It's got a really cool vibe. It's very chill, it feels very contemporary. Definitely a visit for me. If you continue west, you'll hit Sagres, which is a very beautiful southern point. It's another naturally raw and stunning place where the Atlantic meets these soaring cliffs, and I swear, like, you can feel the power of Mother Nature. I mean, she's telling us, like, not to mess with her here. And I believe her. Sorry, that's like a bit woo-woo, but Sagres, I think, really is magic. If you get here, I would highly recommend eating at Aceria, which is a bit out of the way, and it's definitely not aesthetic by any means, but it is one of the most memorable meals we had, so much so we returned several times with guests. It's actually on the Fisherman's Wharf, and you get to choose which catch you want before it gets cooked on an outdoor grill. Another one of my favorite memories was, and I can't believe I'm saying this, when we rented a scooter. I never thought I would get on one of these things because I am just so cautious. But you know, in life's many ironic twists, I recently fractured my patella from walking across the street. So next time I feel like riding a scooter, I'm just gonna do it. We were able to visit nearby towns of Alte and Albufeira and got to see a bike race, which was really exciting. We also made several trips to this nearby agriturismo boutique hotel and restaurant called Quinta do Mel, and it's such a beautiful place. If you are in this area, definitely go visit. Sleep there if you can. We did take a quick peek in the bedrooms and they are so well appointed, really beautifully done, like beautiful farmhouse in the country. It's just so peaceful and the food is fantastic and the service is really wonderful as well. One of the best ways to see the Algarve is arguably by boat. So I'm so grateful to Captain Bruno and his team at IC Charter for collaborating with me to organize my husband's 40th birthday on their beautiful catamaran for the afternoon. So we ordered some of their local catering and brought our own drinks, but if you like, you can bring your own snacks and drinks, or you can order drinks from them. They were just so kind also to have some complimentary local sparkling when we got on board, and it was just such a wonderful afternoon. The ride was really gorgeous and smooth. We were 8 people and we were very comfortable on the catamaran. They had space for everyone and we had kids on board and they of course had the proper life vests for them. So it was just a really beautiful way to experience the deserted beaches and lagoons of Ria Formosa Natural Park. They had water toys, and even though it was the end of April, we had some of the warmest weather that day and some of us actually jumped in. I did not. I am not that crazy, but it was a really fun day. The charter leaves from Faro, which is another great city, which I would recommend you visit. You could even do a couple of nights there. I think there's definitely enough to see in this city. Anyway, I would definitely recommend IC Charter. They were fantastic. I will leave their information below in the description box because it was one of my favorite experiences in Portugal. Another really special experience was spending a weekend in Msica for my mother's birthday, who spent the entire month of March with us. Msica is famous for its healing natural spring water and is actually some of the most alkaline water in the world. This was another one of those really magical natural places. And I have to say that I think in Portugal they do this so well, like just leaving nature to do its thing. The natural spring in Msica was very simply built up with natural stone features. Nothing was overdone, nothing was overly built up, and it really allowed you to appreciate the natural surroundings and nature itself in a really beautiful and tranquil way. You can walk or run, it's really good hill training, to the top of the valley in Msica, take in some really spectacular views. If you do go to Msica, I would recommend staying at the Msica Resort and Spa. I'll leave a link down there for you because there is only one other hotel option and we walked by it and it definitely needs an update. If you do visit Msica, you cannot miss the roadside restaurant called Foz do Pano. It has these amazing little terraces with the best views of the valley, and the food is, look, we got there on off regular hours, and all I had was a simple chicken tosta, and it was probably one of the best meals I have ever eaten. Like, if I had to rank all of the meals I've had in my life, this is one of the most memorable and the most amazing, and I'm pretty sure it only cost like €8 or something. Finally, Lisbon. I didn't spend that much time in Lisbon. I really wanted to, as I mentioned at the beginning, experience living in a different place, not from the perspective of a tourist and having to check things off a list, but really to just live there and experience daily life. So I spent about 3 days in Lisbon with my friend Yvonne and my mom because that's where they were flying out of, and we really enjoyed the free walking tour. We chose Guru Walk and our guide was great. His stories were really original, and we stopped for some delicious and complimentary natas halfway through, which, Portuguese sweets. I'll take any excuse to get my hands on one. We also discovered some really nice shopping destinations like Embaixada in the Príncipe Real neighborhood. The architecture of this building alone will draw you in, but it's a marketplace for local Portuguese designers, and there are so many gorgeous markets, so many gorgeous vendors. I ended up buying a cotton knit from the local brand Isto. You could spend hours in there. It was just a beautiful experience. Another store that featured local brands is the Fitting Room, and of course there were some great vintage and secondhand shops as well. My favorite neighborhoods to explore in Lisbon were the Bairro Alto and Alfama. These have just so much character, so much color and life and history as well. Definitely 2 neighborhoods to hit up up when you go to Lisbon. All in all, I'm happy we chose Portugal as our first destination, kind of to get our feet wet, and I am so grateful for the warm welcome from all of you who call Portugal home. It is a beautiful country, and I would love to return. But for now, we are in Croatia until the end of July. And I promise I will do a better job of sharing Croatia as we are here, and perhaps not all in one big chunk. But let me know if you liked this format of video. I'm always curious. Thank you so much for watching. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it or if you found it interesting, and I will be back to regular slow fashion videos in the next week. Ciao!